Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name's EJ Marino and this is About Last Night, the show where I talk about the movie I saw last night. But you know this is an American Horror Story themed rewatch. Yes, I'm diving into episode 2 of Murder House. Another week, another amazing episode of American Horror Story. I thought following the pilot of Murder House would be nearly impossible. That first episode is so iconic, so important to the franchise, that anything that came after should be like nothing even near it. But Home Invasion is a really fun, somewhat isolated episode that I'm really impressed with. I had such a good time with this homage to horror films that I cannot complain. I am actually, again, surprised that this episode is as strong as it is. How did we ever think this show wasn't gonna last with amazing, iconic episodes back to back like this? Yes, Home Invasion is really, seriously, one of my favorite episodes of Horror Story that I can remember. Now looking like all the seasons I've watched, all the episodes I watched, none of them feel such a throwback, a callback to amazing horror films like Home Invasion. I mean, there's references to Rosemary's Baby, Amityville Horror, Psycho, Strangers. There is so much in this episode that I had to sit there with my notes and be like, this has just as many notes as the pilot. Good job, Murder House, for being consistent really early on. The episode Home Invasion begins with, Home Invasion. We jump back to 1968, where the murder house is filled with a bunch of nurses. Yeah, it seems like this is kind of like a sorority for nurses, who are trying to build their career, trying to get anything. I actually really enjoyed the premise of this. I think these girls would have made a great late 70s, early 80s slasher movie. This cast of girls dealing with the psycho killer that they deal with. I would have been in love with that film, watched all the bad sequels. I was okay, a good start. So the nurses are there, they're getting ready for the night, and then a stranger comes to the door and is like, hey, can you help me? He breaks into the house basically and starts torturing one of the nurses. I was okay, this is great. And then as he's torturing her, I hear the score for Psycho build, and I'm like, oh, okay, this is a small homage. And then one of the nurses thinks she's safe, she's gonna get away, and then the killer attacks her and stabs her, and you hear that iconic noise as he's stabbing her that is from Psycho, that shower noise, ee. I was like, are you kidding me? Again, so early into the show, and we're getting this many horror homages, so many horror just vibes to it. I am so impressed with just the cold open of this episode. It was brutal, it was scary, and then we tune into something really scary. Another therapy session with Ben. Oh my, if he was my therapist, I would want all my money back because he is not good at his job. Look, in this opening, he's dealing with Tate. I understand Tate's not the easiest to deal with, especially when he's grossly hitting on your daughter and saying all the things he's thinking about. No, I get it, but Ben isn't, that's gonna be a running theme through this episode. I don't like Ben. Ben sucks. I really wish this house would have just killed Ben and leave Vivian alone and just moved on with their life because he sucks. But okay, so he's doing the therapy session with Tate and they're talking, and then he gets a phone call that's saying, hey, Ben, I'm your mistress from Boston. I'm pregnant. What's up? And yeah, we have double daddy drama for Ben. Oh boy, the character I don't like dealing with two different women who are kind of crazy because of the stuff he's done to them. Yay, I really blame Ben for a lot this season. After that amazing cold open, the episode then jumps to Violet trying to comfort that bully, that girl that she brought to the basement and Infantata attacked her. Yeah, she's trying to be like, hey, my bad about that. I didn't know Tate was gonna do that. And that girl's like, cool, I didn't know I would see the face of evil, so, I guess we're even. Yeah, that girl is really shook. So much to the point that she asked Violet if she believes in the devil. So much apocalypse foreshadowing so early into the show. I know Ryan Murphy probably had a loose game plan, but hearing all this devil, all this satanic vibes early on in this show really sets up how great Murder House feels as a continuation of this and Coven. I didn't think it would flow as great as it did, but watching Murder House, watching this girl be like, yeah, do you believe in the devil? Because I thought I saw him down there. Yeah, that really shows that this house has been planning what it was going to do in Apocalypse for a very long time. We then jump back to the Amityville Harmons with Vivian and Ben dealing with their own personal dramas. Ben is still having the house mess with him. He's like hearing alarms go off. He's seeing Addy down there, but when he goes down to the basement, like the little red ball's floating, which I believe is infantata. And then Vivian feels like her baby is wrong. She's just like, look, I'm usually getting sick by now, but I'm not. So what's up? I don't feel right. And Ben's trying to comfort her. I get what he's trying to do here, but I still feel like he's being fake and hollow about it, especially that he knows he has that like mistress drama in his head. There's something that just kind of feels like he's patting her on the head and be like, oh, it's gonna be okay, just woman stuff. Again, maybe I'm just like projecting all my like later on hate onto Ben now, but I'm just feeling like, I don't think you're a great person. I don't think you're that nice of a guy, Mr. Harmon, because like, running theme through this episode, after he's trying to cover Vivian, he is just planning on going to Boston to deal with his mistress. And when I mean deal, I mean he's gonna take her to the Smushmortions clinic and be like, I'm gonna get rid of the baby and then let's move on with this. Oh boy, does she have other things in mind. Ooh, also in the middle of this episode, we get Constance making some cupcakes that are the grossest thing with Epicac in it, which makes you like violently sick. I love seeing that. Also, this cupcakes really made me think of the cupcakes that were in Freak Show. I think the episode is called Pink Cupcakes, where one of them's poisoned. Just something about like seeing poisoned cupcakes, hearing all the devils speak, it really makes me feel like they were building a universe very early. I mean, episode 2, and I'm already being like, wow, there's so much that like explained here that I'm gonna see later on. This is why you guys should be rewatching an American Horror Story season. Start where I am with Murder House, because you're gonna be picking up on a lot that as fans that you're like, good job to this show. So yes, going back to that, Constance is like making cupcakes and being all, we get our first stuff with Addy and like at home, and God, their home life's so sad. Addy's like looking through all these like beauty magazines and says, why do I not look like these girls? And Constance like, girl, because you don't. And come on, like it's really sad because Constance is trying to be like, look, you're not going to look like that. You weren't born that way. Just move on and you can build yourself as a strong Down syndrome girl. And she was just like, no, I want to be beautiful. And oh my God, I love Jamie Brewer so much. I find her to be so adorable, so pretty. Like I just want to go into her, like Addy's character and be like, you are beautiful. Don't feel this way. Especially with Constance and what she does to her in that mirror room later. Oh man, I really feel bad for Addy as well. With Ben returning to Boston, the rest of the episode is pretty much a home invasion movie. Yeah, we have Vivian and Violet left at the house, and then all of a sudden, 3 strangers break into the house. 3 strangers break into the house with 2 people left. Yeah, you can definitely tell the strangers had come out before this season came out, because this is a very obvious homage to the strangers, and I have no issue with it. I actually like this whole rest of this episode with the home invasion aspect, with the Ghost and Addy of Murder House trying to be like, cool, we're gonna help you guys because we like you. Once again, they would have just got rid of Ben. It seems like the ghosts in the house do not hate Violet and Vivian. Yeah, sure, Violet's a little whiny and Vivian's dealing with all the Ben stuff, but like, Tate literally tries to help them. Addy tries to help them, trying to be like, hey mom, hey, can you help me out? Leave your like trade alone, like that young, beautiful boy that Jessica Lange was sleeping with in this episode. Addy's like, yo, help the neighbors, there's a bad man over, which is one of my favorite lines when she's like, there's a bad man next door, and like Constance is like, yeah, I don't like him either, but you can't just keep bugging me when I have company over because you don't like Ben. That's like me going up to my neighbor and be like, hey, do you remember Dylan McDermott from the first season of Horror Story? He's really annoying, right? Yeah, that's what she's basically doing to her. So she throws her into a room full of mirrors and tells her to look at herself, tells her to just feel everything, and like, this is what happens to bad girls. This reminds me so much of Carrie as well. Like I said, so many homages to different horror films in this one episode, which is why I think I loved Home Invasion so much. So obviously the home invasion doesn't stick because, you know, the Harmons still live in Murder House, but what I think was so amazing about the ending of this episode is that iconic, again, iconic shot of Constance, Moira, and Tate just standing there over a body being like, what are we gonna do with this? Just something about that shot is burned into my head of this season. I felt like that happened once an episode because I remember that so much. This episode is so well crafted, such a fun time. And then we get the end with the cops coming and being like, hey, this is what's happening, blah, blah, blah. I really like that. We have Vivian being like, yo, Ben, you left and this happened. You're not a good person. And it kind of ends with like another fight between the couple. And that's like gonna be a running theme where like, I'm like, just end the fight here. Please come axe him in the stomach. Vivian can just live fine on her own. Again, what do you guys think? Do you think if they would have got rid of Ben early, we would have had less issues? Because it feels like that way for me. So that is it for my rewatch of episode 2 of Murder House. I was so excited to jump into this episode. Starting it, I was like, okay, following the pilot again, it's gonna be pretty hard, but I had such a great time. I'm excited for episode 3 because I don't remember that one at all. I think it's Halloween, which the Halloween episodes were iconic and so great, so I cannot wait to jump into it with you guys again. Please, if you did enjoy this video, comment down below. I would love to talk with you guys about Murder House, anything American Horror Story related. Also, leave me a suggestion. What do you want me to cover American Horror Story wise? I'm thinking about maybe the best characters, the best villains. What do you guys want to see? Comment down below. Give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy this video. That would mean the world to me. And subscribe to my channel because I make videos like this every single week. And thank you for tuning in to American Horror Story version of About Last Night.